Well, hi there. How the hell you doing? My name is Matty Daddy. Oh Lord, look at me now. 316 Simonson, and I'm here with
Jake, wood paneling on the outside, the Midget Hill Cement.
Oh wow, and welcome to another great episode of Matty Daddy and the Midget Podcast. Episode 16. And we got some very important news, because for the first time ever, what do we have on the podcast?
Roof.
Well, we normally have that.
Oh.
What else? Maybe look to your right a little bit.
Why didn't we talk about this?
Pan.
Oh, Vandy's here!
We have a guest! And his name is Mike Vandy! Mike, man, let's get a round of applause for Mike Vandy!
Alright, there we go. You know, I thought for a minute we were going to say debuting on the podcast is the Marlboro cigarettes.
That too!
That will come up.
Man, Matty D was so worried about that, weren't you, baby?
Found these in my lawn. I'm sure they're dirty D's, but, you know, I'll pay you back.
Oh, you found them.
You know, I was going to bring that up, but I felt like our guest is the most important thing about this podcast.
Second most now.
Yeah.
Second most, man.
Well, okay, here's the third most important thing. Because this cactus made its debut on the podcast last week, and now it is the Podcactus. And we're actually going to water it on the podcast. Great fucking material here.
Did you grab a bottle of water for that?
Gimmicks, man. It's all about the gimmick.
Okay, you can stop.
And now it's leaking
Holy
everywhere.
crap.
You're doing great.
All right,
Jesus.
make sure they don't spill on the mics. You know, we'd hate to ruin the audio.
Sure, it's gonna spill on you.
$10,000 worth of equipment, and this is what happens.
Well,
Jeez, the Podcactus ruins it all? Holy shnikes, dude.
Taken down by the podcast.
we got it on Black Friday, so it's only like $5,000.
Does it have, so is the name podcast or Podcactus, or does it have a different name?
No, it's
I actually just thought of it like 20 minutes ago, so.
pretty clever, actually.
Yeah. And
The most professional podcaster, Matty D.
Yeah.
That's what I think you need to go by. Get the merch, pro wrestling tees,
well,
all that stuff.
what's fucked up, normally I do like an intro, and I thought of one while I was at work that was a good one, a good nickname, and then like it just fucking drew a blank when it started. So
wonderful one while I was backfilling with the dough today.
That happens every time.
Didn't remember it.
So then I just said whatever, it's something really stupid.
Like,
you know?
I'm pretty sure you can see it on my face when they watch this, that when you're saying yours, I'm going.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that's the second time you've used like wood paneling in your name.
Yeah, it's the first time it was on the doors, I believe.
Yeah. What he does is he just looks around and he's like,
That works.
I read the room.
You know
the disabled poster, Mike Vandy, the Midget Hill Cement.
That'll happen with me, like, and we'll get into it, but like when I do promos,
Sure.
I'll know what I want to say going in.
Right.
And they're like, they'll be like, here's what we want you to say. And I'm like, those aren't my words. Like, what the hell? So you get out there and you're like, people here, ring, we beat people up, cool, done. It's just done, like that. And they're like, all right, get the pop out of it, get the hell out of here.
A lot of
We'll definitely get into that.
A lot of our podcasts is just like kind of like pro wrestling fucking shoots or you know like that. Yeah,
I'll give you that, man. Jesus.
So we're
talking with the biggest shooter in the business.
You were?
Just weight wise, just biggest shooter in the business. Man. Not even because like you shoot really well, but just weight, man.
No, dude, I feel like you cut promos like any motherfucker out there.
I got promos at the gas station, man. I was getting gas. This is true story. Hand to God, man. A couple days ago, I'm at the gas station, and I'm thinking of a promo against my cousin online. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get in there, man. I'm gonna say all that, and I'm like cutting the promo as I'm putting the gas in. Big bald guy walks out of his truck and just looks at me like, what is this fat fuck doing? I'm like, mind your business, man. Kept going along with it, you know.
You want some of this?
I do the same thing when I'm thinking of like just funny shit to say on the podcast. I'll be driving down the road like talking to myself, and I'm like, man, people like probably look at me and they're like, that guy is fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we think that anyway, but.
I thought that back in the day, but I'm still thinking that, man.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
It is. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
You're like fine wine, baby. Getting better with age. Crazier with age, but better with age.
Thank you.
Which makes it better.
I can't actually say that myself because I'd sound conceited. So I love hearing it from other people. And if you got any more, we can just. Oh, okay.
Your podcast is on, by the way. Podcactus is kind of showing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
You need us to keep giving you more? You need more compliments there?
Oh, you mean the...
Yeah. Knock
on wood.
In the business, we call that giving the rub. That's the rub, man. Oh, man.
Now let's talk about... Okay, so actually, if you don't know who Mike Vandy is, he's, like me and the Midget, a big pro wrestling fan, but he's actually in the wrestling business. And he knows all the terminology, like the back... Like the Midget knows the back of his hand. So, what is giving?
That's new.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I noticed it though.
Like
I know the back.
You know the back.
Black Friday sale. That's where you got it from.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
I know people.
So what? So some people might hear giving the rub and think like the wrong thing. What is giving the rub?
So you got a guy who's getting red hot, guy or gal. Looking really good in the ring, cuts a good promo.
The crowd's reacting.
Yeah, everyone is on board for him.
Sure.
So like you hear getting the rub, giving the rub, it means you're catapulting them. You're getting them some momentum. We're gonna build them up more. So eventually, if they're gonna win a title or something, big payoff. So you hear getting the rub.
So that's basically
means they're going on up.
That's their ascension from where they were to that
Mitch Carter to
we give a shit about you now, basically.
Sure. Yeah.
Like
you're important now.
Yep.
Dollar signs.
Yep. We see. Yep. Exactly.
What are some other wrestling terminology that people want to know?
The one for me would probably be heat.
Heat. That's why
in and out of the ring.
That's why I love listening to Stone Cold podcast. He just uses all of it, and like I could listen to Stone Cold talk about his trucks. Like anything he fucking talks about is just like gold to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I can listen to him. I listened to his podcast with Post Malone like 3 years ago.
How wild is it though? Like Stone Cold.
It's amazing.
Watching the '90s, you think Big Bear Swell Texas, baby.
He's an amazing interviewer.
And then all of a sudden he's chilling with Post Malone. Taker was chilling with Post Malone. Like you would never fucking thought of that. Like
I watched the Hot Ones with Taker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did
Probably
too.
my favorite episode of Hot Ones.
I love the Stone Cold Hot Ones, but yeah, I think Taker one would have been better if they were like him and Sean were in person together for that. But yeah, it was still really good. How fascinating is it to you knowing how in character he was for 30 years, and now that he's kind of reaching the end of he is reaching the end.
It's already been reached.
Yeah. But I mean, he might still make like appearances and stuff.
Oh,
but
for sure.
you know, he's done wrestling now, unless Vince has some crazy idea, right?
Until
so how crazy is it to you to see him like doing interview? He did an interview with Ariel Helwani. Mm-hmm. He did one with Bill Simmons. He did the Hot Ones. Like he's never done this before in his career.
Well, when you hear him talk to Austin, and he's like, "I debated so many times if I want to do this or not." I'm a huge mark for Taker. That means fan. Means obsessed fan.
Yep.
And even if you're in the business, you're still marked. That's why you got in the business.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you don't just get into wrestling unless you're a guy like Brock Lesnar who didn't love the business, but he's a fucking giant, genetic freak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who can do shit that nobody else could do. You get guys like that, but there are people who, when you get in the business, you got to be a mark. In my opinion, you gotta love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like what the product.
And you'll do anything for it, like more than your fucking character, even.
Absolutely, and like with Taker, he sat there and he debated about it. And as a big fan of Taker, like that's the character I drew the most to in the '90s, and for him to like just peel back the curtain and be like, "Here's my life." So I know a lot of his fans. I'm one of them that appreciated it because you got to see Mark Calloway and you got to see all the struggles he had to go through for years.
Exactly.
You hear the stories. Wrestling with his orbital bone broken after, Mabel did the big leg drop on his face and broke, and
AKA Viscera.
Yeah, good old Viscera.
Rest in peace.
Like Bruce Pritchard talked about on his podcast, Taker, like he when he would breathe, you could see the air come through out of his eye socket.
I think I've seen that. Now that you say that.
How many episodes have we done?
I don't know.
The most professional podcaster.
Oh, I forgot. Undertaker was calling in. Mark Calloway's on the phone. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
But yeah, man, like him pulling back the curtain, I think meant a lot to people. I think it means a lot to him because he's doing something he's never probably thought he was going to do.
Also, he's got 30 years worth of stories that he really hasn't told to people that they're just dying for. So it's probably somewhat of a relief just to be like, I can finally do this now.
Oh my God, dude! Like, and for him, a lot of guys when you get out of the business, as far as like wrestling wise, when you stop wrestling, what's next? You always say, "What's next?" Like football player,
right?
Sure.
Football player gets done. Any athlete gets done. They're thinking, "What's next?" Because you just did all this, making millions, but maybe you don't have to save the money.
My time.
You may have, exactly either you didn't save money, or you're like, "What can I do to kill time now?" And they do these conventions, they do these signings and everything.
Yep.
And like Taker,
Movies.
yeah, I mean they try to find that next niche.
Taker doesn't want to do movies though.
Yeah, he did an interview about it recently. I didn't read the transcript about it, but because someone asked him like, why didn't you ever get into movies? Like you did some USA Network stuff back in the '90s and it was really cool and creepy and shit.
Sure.
That's just not his style.
No, he didn't like. There's guys like Angle can do a stupid straight to DVD bullshit movie. Miz, all these guys can do shit.
Mm-hmm.
I loved
like
every
that.
movie Stone Cold was part, even like the straight to DVD ones, like the Condemned.
It's crazy because those straight to DVDs, like the Condemned, like you said, that was pretty good shit. Like,
Yeah, it was
you
amazing.
got
movie.
that cult following afterwards because you're like, oh, Steve Austin, he's a pro wrestler, that's cool. Shit, he actually did a really good job.
Yeah.
I didn't see Steve Austin. I saw insert character name here, like you
Yeah.
know, like
Yep.
they didn't think Stone Cold. They thought, his character name.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm so biased when it comes to Stone Cold though. I could watch him butter bread. Like I said, I could listen to him talk about trucks, or I could watch him butter bread.
We were talking about the blankets because you got the Sable blanket, and I got Steve Austin one.
I will trade
And
you.
I'm almost worried. I'm almost worried. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, come to my man room. I got you because I got the Austin blanket. I'm almost worried.
Yeah,
that
it's
thing's
not
gonna be
gonna
gone.
be.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Like, my uncle told me the same
Well,
way.
you see, like my that was like a 6 foot stand up cardboard thing, but like it just it was a gift to me, and the person who had it before me didn't take the best care of it, so I kind of had to cut it in half and just use it as like what it is now.
It's there, man. That's all that matters.
And
That's
I
all that
brought out
matters.
the Austin 360. That shirt's way too small for me now, so I was gonna wear it, but I'm like,
Pretty sure
yeah.
it fit me, but it's fine.
We'll work
Go
on
on.
a deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll talk about it.
You will see.
Offers pending.
Yeah. Transaction pending. Yeah, but back to the Undertaker. Don't let me fucking make this about Stone Cold, because Undertaker was probably my favorite, or my second favorite behind Stone Cold.
And I would flip. Okay. So like growing up, not take away all the matches and just like my mindset and shit. Taker's number 1, Steve was number 2, and I can tell that because of my action figures.
Yeah.
Any new Austin figure came out, I'm like, hey Ma, you gotta get it. Ma, I gotta have it. Austin's got a jersey and shorts now. Give me that one. Austin's got like this rattlesnake.
He had so many different ones too.
Taker same way. Oh, he's got he's got tattoos on this figure now.
Yep, he's got the Sarah on his neck now. I need that one.
Oh, he's got short hair now. I need to get the new one.
Yeah.
I
wasn't the biggest fan of the short hair Taker, to be honest.
It's not bad. It's better than shitty old man, 56-year-old. My wife definitely cut my hair, Taker.
I just missed 1990.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean,
how bad is that though?
The bad hair kind of went with the persona though.
I know that he's balding. I get it. Age happens.
It does.
It this was choice, but like
Sure.
fuck, man. Like the sides being bald, it looks horrible. It looks horrible.
True.
I like the braid. Put the bandana on, brother.
Right.
No one's gonna judge you anymore.
Be the American badass again.
Yeah.
Taker at Mania, he looked great. And like his look at Mania was fantastic.
What Mania are you talking about?
This year's Mania.
Who did he? I didn't even know he.
Him and AJ. Did you not see WrestleMania this year?
No. See, I had WWE
Oh
Network.
my God, man! Come
Well,
on.
this is what we're gonna talk about. This is what we're gonna get into. Like, that's why we were mainly gonna talk about the Attitude Era, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I was the biggest wrestling fan of all time. Like, no matter how big you were at any year, I was that big when I was younger.
Years of wrestling for our age group.
Yeah.
NWO was by far my biggest peak.
You would love my man room.
You like W?
I
See,
I got a corner just
Too
full
sweet.
of NWO.
See, I was like on board with WWF at the time. I still would watch WCW every now and again, and I like the NWO, and then like when they broke off into like the Wolfpack, Kevin Nash's thing, and Sting got involved and shit. That was awesome, but like, dude, the fucking characters and the Attitude Era for WWF, like, just mention some of the smaller names. You know, everyone knows the big names. What about Gangrel? Val Venus,
Right.
the Godfather.
Yep.
You know, fucking Rikishi,
D'Lo.
too cool. You know,
D'Lo
Brown, the
Oh,
fucking his
God.
head moving.
Mark Henry, like
Dude, yeah,
all
Sexual Chocolate.
like APA, all those guys.
Yeah.
all those guys.
I don't think WCW could compete with that.
They did because they did for what 87 weeks.
Yeah.
They did, but like I feel like that's because they had all the big names. You know, they had Hogan,
84
they
weeks.
had Flair, they had
Yeah,
Sting.
they drew out these guys with big money contracts. They didn't fucking build anybody else.
Right.
You can't. This is what killed him. We're gonna build Hulk Hogan as this big name. Well, he's already a big name. Yeah, but he's gonna be a big name for 7 years.
He's Hollywood Hogan
He's gonna be a
now.
big name for 7 years. Okay, but what about Juventud Guerrero?
Right.
Okay, well, that's cruiserweight's a big deal. Yeah, but he needs to be bigger. These guys.
Sure.
And Eddie Guerrero.
If you elevate
and,
7 people as your stars, with Hogan, Nash, to mix, they'd be in business.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
WWE, they could push people up. The Rock he had to become The Rock.
Yep.
Austin had to become Austin. You know, all these guys had to become main eventers. It's not just all right. We got 5 guys go.
Yeah, they worked for it too. Like
Yeah.
Ted Turner was paying out the asshole to anyone. You know.
And they didn't have to work.
Yeah.
What's the motivation when you're getting paid $20 million? What's the motivation to go out and work extra?
0.
Like and look what happened to Bret Hart when he took the payday, said "fuck you, Vince." You know, the whole Montreal. We've talked about it on the podcast before too, and but like, how did that work out for him? You know, like
so.
It basically ended his
blame
career.
Bret because Bret takes the contract. He went to Vince. You know, he went to Vince. You see it, Dark Side of the Ring or whatever.
Yeah,
I've
seen that.
Shadows.
But Dark Side of the Ring too.
Yeah,
the one with the Montreal Screw. That's the best episode I've seen.
But like
that is amazing. Jim Cornette.
Oh,
how great is that
corny,
guy?
Man, my Bert loves corny.
He's amazing. He doesn't give a fuck.
Bret Hart, he went to Vince. He's like, hey, I want. Like, if you can't match, I want to stay here.
Yep.
If you can't match it, like, we're done. And like that was the storyline. That was not a storyline, but that was the story. Mania 12. Like this is a year before all this goes down.
Yep.
It was building up in 96.
When that was him and Shawn in the Iron Man match.
Iron Man. That whole thing was brewing since then. Okay, we might cut Bret, and then they signed the 10-year deal.
Yep.
10-year deal, $50 million. And
for
Bret. For Bret. Whatever the money is. I know I'm wrong on the money, but the contract was huge, 10 years.
Yep.
That was the WWF, they were saying?
And
okay.
Vince's like, I can't pay you. He's like, it's just too much. The cost, like, it doesn't make sense. Nobody else has this big of a deal. He goes, I think you should take the deal for WCW because I just can't pay you. Otherwise, we can restructure your deal. And Bret's like, well, I want that money. And since you can't do it, I'm going to go to WCW. Because he went to Vince first, and when Vince a year later said we can't do this. But also, I think they were going in a direction where a character like Bret Hart was super over his heel, but I think you were only going to get it for that year.
And the Hart Foundation was huge.
Beyond that, beyond 97, what could they have done to make Bret still relevant in the Attitude Era?
Right.
You picture
he
Bret
had fought
Hart,
everybody.
You picture Bret Hart, Mania 14, what would he be doing? That's the year Austin goes over on Shawn. What the fuck would Bret Hart be doing? You may not get Kane and Taker. You may not get Shawn and Austin with Tyson.
No, I totally get what you mean.
You know, like these things, it's great that they happen because you got a bigger moment, honestly.
See, my question is, because I've actually thought about this multiple times since I heard that you were going to be on, and I don't remember the exact year and all that shit, but I do vividly remember Goldberg going for the spear and he had the fucking plate on.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
I don't remember the year.
I think Bret, that was 98, right?
Yeah, 98.
I think Bret says that was the one good decision that WCW made with him.
Yep.
This is another question I want to ask real quick that has to do with that. Do you think Vince saw something in Bret that he was declining because he didn't last that long in WCW?
I think he saw his
relevancy. Do you think that's why he didn't want to pay him?
I think he saw his relevancy. I think he said, okay, money's one. Money's the biggest issue.
And you fought everybody.
And then what do we do with you next? Because again, Rocky's not Rock at that point.
Yeah.
He's still Rocky. He's still getting heat.
Yep.
But Bret's a good heel. You should not turn him baby at all. The foundation, the need to be heels, need to keep going forward with that.
And he knew Austin was his fucking golden pony.
Right.
He knew that's what.
And it was just like, after all that shit went down, it was just shit show. Like, Pillman dying, Davey goes WCW, Owen, obviously, 2 years later, passes away. Like, all this just downhill. I mean, unbelievable, dude. So, Brett, I think Vince saw that, you know what, there's no use. Really, we need to focus on these guys. Something WCW should have done.
I think he saw like a lot more promise in Owen too, because he was younger. He hadn't fought everyone yet. I don't know why the fuck they ever made him the Blue Blazer. Let me put that on the record. That was one of the stupidest decisions I think ever.
Should have never gone back. It would have saved his life.
Right.
They should have never
and they shouldn't have. Yeah.
Why? Why are you going to use the talent like Owen Hart?
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Okay, I tried to find it. That was. See, this is how big of a nerd I am. That was Over the Edge, 1999, right? Yeah, and I tried to buy that DVD, but I think it's like even cut from the DVD now, obviously, But like, yeah, because basically he falls and he hits his head on like the turnbuckle, right?
Yep.
Yeah. God, that's fucked.
Again, why are we taking a talent like Owen Hart?
Right.
Putting him in a mask.
And as the Blue Blazer.
It's something stupid that nobody knows because it's from the 80s. They did the fucking gimmick in the 80s. No one remember this shit.
See, I didn't even know it was. I didn't even know it was a gimmick before that.
They played a package of it because they had to explain it. That's the shittiest thing. It's like when you tell a joke and say, "Well, Hillsy, see, get it?" Because when you do that,
yeah,
it
the
spoils the
backstory
whole fucking thing.
It takes everything away.
When you have to explain it, if people don't know the backstory, okay, I get you got to tell it, but it just it dampens it so bad.
It's not that great of a backstory to be like worth telling though, right? I mean, how crazy is it to you that it was Austin and Taker as the main event that night? Like I think there was like several matches after that.
4 or 5.
But how you being in the wrestling locker rooms before and having to follow crazy matches or crazy things or whatever.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What do you think that was like?
I can tell you, like, I've had shows where people got hurt in the ring.
Sure.
Guy broke his leg in the ring. Guy tore his ACL in the ring.
And the fans know.
Yeah,
they're like, wrong.
Oh. The worst one, my good buddy Aaron Von Baron, he worked.
Great name, by the way. Is that his real name?
No.
Okay.
That sounded wonderful.
He worked a wrestler named AJ Smooth, and they were doing this spot where AJ has him, like, I think they were working across, like, an arm breaker spot or whatever. AJ pulls him up to do, like, a power bomb on the arm bar. And they fell backwards, and AJ's back just lands right on Aaron's leg.
Ooh, my
Splits
God.
that thing. And thankfully the ref we had as a doc, like, he's a medic.
Yeah.
So
That's
he
brilliant.
helped. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. We got your cast ready to go. Let's go. Got him to the hospital. Thank God, his leg's all good. But God, it was gruesome. And thankfully it was the last match. Then we had another guy.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
We had a guy where halfway through the show it happens. And you're like,
Then
well,
what do?
you're just sitting there like, get Teddy out of the fucking ring. Let's get going. Like, whatever,
Yeah, how do you fucking, like...
I've seen concussions. I've been concussed in a match.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I saw one guy managed, he pissed off a vet in a match, and the guy took liberties on this kid. The kid's like 19 at the time, and this vet just wallops the shit out of him. And I'm on the outside watching, I'm like, fuck, why? And you can see the kid's dazed. He starts throwing.
Did he do something wrong or?
He stiffed the vet.
Okay.
And the vet was very snotty.
Hit him a little bit too hard for the fans.
And the vet just walloped him. And then when the kid gets up dazed, he's throwing shots at the sides.
The vet had to give him a receipt, right?
And the vet gives him another receipt and furthers the damage. Just pops the kid. I'm like, man, just why? Why is that necessary?
Right.
Horrible. So I've seen that shit. It's not good, man. It's not good.
That's tough.
That's kind of a notorious Lesnar thing, though, too, right? He'd get pissed, like.
Oh man, like
got hit too hard.
Strowman at the Rumble a couple years
Oh,
ago.
right when he
gives him a big knee to the head.
Oh my
And
God.
Brock just wallops him. He's like, "You're not gonna do that again, are you?"
Who do you think Brock would whoop Strowman in an actual fight?
I think that is a question that shouldn't even need to be asked.
It is, but like,
Even
look
your
at the size.
podcastist knows.
Look at the size of Strowman. He actually flipped a whole 18-wheeler that one time. Remember that?
Brock's married to that.
Yeah.
Come on.
But that doesn't look like that anymore.
You think he cares?
God, no.
You think he cares? You think she cares? Like, come on.
He's
man.
busy with his goat farm and all that stuff. He probably doesn't.
Think about it. The biggest badass in the world has a goat farm.
Yeah. And
Like,
doesn't he live in
that makes me
does he
super
live in
happy,
South
though.
Dakota or
He lives
something?
in Canada, dude.
Really? Okay, yeah.
When he did his last
He's
UFC
from
fight,
South
He's
Dakota,
from
yeah.
Minnesota.
Right.
He's
Well,
South Dakota, but he went to Minnesota.
He
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
University of Minnesota, wrestled.
But
Yeah.
he when he did his last UFC fight against Mark Hunt, he hailed from fucking Canada.
yeah.
Like a little douche.
And I actually watched that fight. That was a great fight. Mark Hunt was pissed because everyone thought Lesnar was on steroid. He
was.
failed.
He tested positive.
He failed
after
the
the
drug
fight.
test, but it came out
And,
afterwards, which
and
is
Hunt,
weird.
Hunt wanted like half the purse or whatever.
Yeah.
And then was like, go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Like, you're not the draw.
Right. Yeah. I understand that.
Here's
Mark
mine.
Mark Hunt is amazing in the MMA world, and I still think Brock would beat him. But
this is what I think. So I agree exactly what you just said. Brock would still beat him. Mark Hunt had one punch. Okay, he one punch kill.
Mm-hmm.
You see all his highlight videos. He has this one punch. He does. He gave it to Lesnar right between the eyes, and Brock stood up. Like, okay,
Right.
and you telling me steroids did that? It is.
Right.
It is like that. Come on.
No, he's just got a chin.
Like, he gave him the best shot he could give.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't knock Brock out. Steroids or not? Like, come on.
yeah, it makes you ask the question though too, because he has gone down by the hand of really good strikers for like
Oh yeah.
Cain Velasquez and Alistair Overeem.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
But what he did in that fight with fucking
Randy Couture.
yes,
or-
Couture, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Because he was a legend.
Yeah,
Couture.
he was also very old.
He's
I mean,
really
you have
old.
to
Yeah,
take all the factors in, but like I agree with Rogan says this, but like I think anyone with half a brain cell would agree. If Brock would have got into MMA right out of fucking college,
Instead of,
who the fuck's beating him?
Well, UFC I think would be the biggest thing with Brock. You know, like I hate to compare movies to like real life, but like No Holds Barred with Hogan.
Yeah.
They're all hyping up Zeus.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much would have been fucking Zeus.
yeah.
They
Right.
just would have hyped up. Look what we have. Look what we have. And
See, I totally forgot about that movie till you
It was
just said
sold out.
that.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
I remember him
Remind
as
me
Zeus.
when we get off. I got a good Randy Couture story for you.
I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, it's good.
It's not for on air.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It'll be a little gem for you guys.
Okay. Cool.
I can't
cool.
wait.
Sorry guys, looks like you're fucked.
You gotta pay
But,
the subscription, $5.99 a month.
yeah, check out my premium account.
You got OnlyFans?
Only fan.
Just one.
Yeah.
Follow Hilsebeck on OnlyFans. He's got new feet pics up every Monday.
Every Monday.
So much.
Oh man.
Sticking with Brock. I don't even know where to go, but I want to keep talking about Brock, kind of.
Can we, just real quick, you guys were talking about your favorite wrestlers and we didn't even get to me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then. Wait, can I say this? And we'll go right back to that.
Mm-hmm.
How amazing was that last Brock and Taker run that they did? Like in 2016,
Oh,
they did Hell in a Cell, and like that was amazing. Like where they like got into like the crazy fight outside of the ring and had so much security, like
Good
couldn't separate
storytelling.
them.
It was good storytelling.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like so, that's what I was trying to say. Like I was the biggest wrestling fan ever. Kind of got out of it when I started seeing it like watered down, and but like I loved that. I love that. I love Bray Wyatt. That's my guy. I love Seth Rollins now. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Roman Reigns. But okay, let's go back to that now.
Sure.
But what do you think about that? Quick.
I love it. What do you think? But hold on.
What do you think about
Fuck your opinion.
What do you think about the final
Let me know.
Lesnar Taker kind of showdown that they had a couple
That
years
was
ago?
good. It was great storytelling. I thought Brock and Taker both did phenomenal, especially Taker coming back after all that shit.
And he looked good too, right?
You know, like that was I think the start of the decline.
Right.
I mean, I think it was really showing. I think age was really showing. I think the body was starting to go, but he felt confident, and that's all that matters. If you're a fighter, Like me, I'm 405. I'm not gonna, we're breaking news, I'm fat. 405, but
we'll bleep it out and put 285 in there.
280. It'll just be your voice.
285.
But
it'll fit perfectly.
like when I do matches, I'll work out and I try to get to a point where my cardio is good enough because you got to be in the ring for 5 minutes. Like I'm not getting 10 minutes out of a guy or whatever because I ain't built like that.
I got body slammed in the ring by Cody Combs when I was like 13 years old. I couldn't breathe for like 10 minutes out of it. It just completely knocked the wind out of me. I'm like, that's not a mattress, dude.
I want to kick
that's like really hard.
I want to kick him in the balls for that. He's like,
dude, I was 13 years old. I was literally, and then they kicked us out of the ring. They kicked us out of the whole show. They're like, you can't be fucking doing that.
I'll tell you a spot here later down. Just remind me. I got so many stories I can tell you.
We'll get to all of them. Going back to Hilsebeck.
Sure. Finally.
I wasn't trying to stiff you there, wrestling term.
What's it mean?
So let's start with Vandy. Let's do a top 5. All time.
Can we get Hillsies? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if we do a top 5, it'll be in there anyway, so we can go.
All right.
I'm actually really excited to hear yours.
Taker 1, I think greatest character of wrestling history. Like, nobody could tell a story like him. Nobody could do what he did. Anybody else in that role would have sucked.
And they wouldn't be believable either.
Absolutely. Shawn is my number 2.
Yeah.
Shawn, ego. Like, he's the guy where you like, God, I fucking hate him. But God, he's so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
You take out who he is in the 90s and all that, and his peers are the same way. You take out the ego and everything, he gave a shit more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He could do stuff now. A lot of people could do. He innovated a lot of things. The ladder match was huge because of him, even though it was done before him.
And shit they do now, like a lot of that shit came from him.
Right.
You know?
Like the ladder match. People, oh man, he last ladder match, Shawn
against Razor Ramon at WrestleMania.
So Jake Roberts is part of one of the first ladder matches ever.
I have heard that before because they always used to say that was the first ladder match, but it was not
up
actually.
In Stampede for the Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Roberts long hair, pre-snake, being
Jake Roberts is amazing, by the way.
So Shawn, he innovated all this stuff in the first Hell in a Cell, in the first Elimination Chamber, first ladder match against Brett on WWE TV.
That was before even the Razor Ramon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people forget about that.
I think it was a prime time, or something. I forget the show, but he did the match against Brett.
Yeah.
And did all these things. Shawn's number 2. Flair, Austin, probably be 3 or 4.
Sure.
Flair, I go with Flair.
Your list is so good, though.
I put it. I'm like, okay.
I almost don't want to say that.
I love Taker.
It's personal preference, though.
So Taker's always gonna be my number 1.
Yeah.
Flair, wrestling wise, I think Shawn's just above him.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Flair can do some shit Shawn can't do.
Sure.
Shawn can't do some shit Flair can. Austin 4 because he's the biggest draw in the business.
Yeah.
Hogan 5 because he's the second biggest.
Wow, you
hit decades and you hit the right marks.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody on the roster right now. I don't think Roman Reigns can ever outdraw Austin.
No, definitely
or Hogan. I don't think Rollins can outperform a Shawn or a Rick. I think if you go off this generation, those guys are right up there. But when you look at all time,
I
think Rollins and Reigns are 5'6" at the end of their career.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, is Reigns from Iowa?
Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rollins is from, he's from Davenport, right?
Davenport boy, and he's got a school up there. He's got his Black and Brave Academy with.
And he still lives there, right?
Yep. He's got a house up there in that area. But him and Merrick Brave, they run the training school. Merrick runs a promotion, SCW. I can't think of their name is, like their promotion. I know SCW is their letter.
Sure.
But they run the school and they have their trainees doing stuff, and I've encountered so many of their students, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
To encounter these guys,
Have you ever met Seth?
I've never met Seth.
You will one of these days.
Talking about Seth Rollins, so there's a guy, and I don't like to shun people, but one of the biggest things I hate is when guys be like, yeah, so Adam and I were talking, Adam, part Edge, and they do that shit.
Yeah. Copeland.
I had that happen. A guy who, I'll call him out. So,
shit on him, man!
I won't, at this point, it's whatever. The guy, big fat guy that Rollins did a moonsault off of? You gotta look it up. It's on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Is this pre-WWE?
This is all long time, like 03, 04.
Sure. Okay, yeah.
Big fat guy, Tim Elliott is his name. Tim Regal. That's what he goes by. He has a gimmick. He's a fan with a gimmick.
Tim Regal.
And I love Regal. I love Regal. We share a lot of opinion. He loves NASCAR, all this shit. We love it.
He's the nephew of William Regal.
Yes.
Is he? I'm just kidding.
But Tim,
I think he is.
I love and respect him. He's the guy Rollins moonsaults off of. And so he knows Seth Rollins. But we were having a conversation. And one thing that annoyed me, Regal says, well, you know, Colby. And he goes, I'm like, bro, no.
He was just trying to shit on Seth?
No. It wasn't shit. He was bragging.
No, he was trying to show off that he knows
him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
got you.
That's cool. So my uncle and Jerry, Lawler, I pull that shit so hard, dude. I had one guy who was bragging, and I think he's full of shit too, Jerry Stewart, and I'll say that out loud. Cause
I love it. I love it.
He sits there and I've never seen Andre and Hogan and talking to them and all. So I'm like, that's cool. So my uncle managed Bret Hart and he knows this guy and he knows this guy. Yeah, piss off. You were never in the garden.
Can we just spend this entire episode just listening to Vandy shoot on people?
I fucking love it, dude. Yeah.
I'm only down to here, by the way.
What's that one shoot interview on YouTube where that guy brings in wrestlers and he what's in the bag and all that shit?
So it's
you know what I'm talking about.
It's RF Videos, I think. I'm trying to think. Oh man, I don't know the guy. So there's Feinstein, and Feinstein is an interesting thing. Much like one of the guys I just mentioned, not Timothy Regal. Some incidents that could put him behind bars happened. Feinstein, he was actually in charge of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, some of that shit is risky. When they start
talked
talking about
to underage people and he got booted, so he had to make a whole new business. But they couldn't prove that he got caught with anything.
Sure.
So this Feinstein guy has his own business, and he does the shoot interviews with people. But he's got a bad rep to him, dude. Some of these guys are like I said, they're schemers in wrestling, man.
Yep.
Right.
That's just that's one of them, man.
Yeah.
But he does some of those shoot. I forget the other. I know what you're talking about. It's gonna bother me.
Yeah.
That I have no idea who it is.
We can look it up. Hilsebeck can look it up on his phone. I shut mine off because I couldn't figure out how to turn the volume
down. Your screen's recording. You can pull it up.
That's true, but that takes a lot of time.
There's She's a Hoe. There's Dick Bass.
Right. Yeah. They tell you a lot of them. Just look up shoot wrestling interviews.
I think all you gotta do is put
YouTube.
in Kevin Nash shoot. And honestly, that should bring you right.
What are your honest opinions on the wrestlers who do those? Do you think they're looking for a cheap payday? Because that kind of seems like that.
That's part of it. I think part of it is cheap payday, get your money, get in, get out, and go. I think also it's like a therapy
But they're really, yeah.
I think it's
that's what I was gonna say. It's got to be a little bit of a therapy session because they're brutally honest.
That's what
about
it's just like for me
shit.
when I thought about Timothy Regal for like 5 minutes. And I love Timmy, but God, dude, when people do that stuff and they're bragging, I know so and so. I get caught sometimes, and I'll be a hypocrite. Calling the kettle black and all. But man, there's guys who do it too much.
Dude, okay, quick thing here, and we'll get back to our fives.
Is that what you're looking for?
Show it to Vandy, and I'll say this, but didn't Alex Fearing, didn't him and another guy in a tag team fight Billy Gunn and X-Pac? Am I wrong with saying that?
So we'll get back on that.
Okay. That's fucking legendary.
So
it might not bring up who that guy is.
The group, good old, at that time I was Jason Michaels. That was my ring name until we became Jason Press.
Were you the manager when that happened though?
So it was Stud Club.
Yeah, okay.
My group, the Stud Club, it was supposed to be DX, which we were like, holy shit, we're gonna do this.
That's crazy.
It was that place called the Keg Stand, and it was this deal to get donated, you get sign people up for organ donation. So really good cause. We're gonna pack that place up. It's gonna be awesome. Billy Gunn backed out 3 weeks before.
So he never came?
So he was out. And I'm like,
wow.
Man, that's really shit. Who's he gonna, man, are we even in the stag match anymore? Because we're the main. This is the big attraction. And we're getting the rub. We're on our way up.
Wax
and,
on.
We're the tag champs. We're the tag champs at this time. So we're like, man, this could be huge for us.
Yep.
And then they put Eugene in.
Oh, really?
They put Nick Densmore in there.
And X-Pac?
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
So I'll tell you some shit about this. So I call it X.
Is he actually?
With Eugene? No.
I'm just fucking with it.
Densmore's cool as shit, man.
Yeah.
Super respectful guy, and
I love the Eugene character too. Like he fucking killed that.
It would not work in today's society.
You're right.
He just talked about that in an interview.
Yeah.
But for what he did back then, he made it work. He made it look great.
Yep.
So
props to Eric Bischoff's niece or nephew. Sorry, sorry about that. Sorry.
So Densmore, take a little behind the curtain here.
Which is Eugene, right?
Yeah, Eugene. Eugene's sitting there. We're talking about the match, and he's like, "I'm gonna get you." I'm like, "Yeah." At the end of the match, you'll pop me. And he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna tar and feather you." And I'm like, "Ha ha ha, that's funny." "Yeah, you're coming out of your clothes." I'm like, "Ha ha ha ha." And like 10 minutes later, he comes back by and he's like, "Remember, I'm gonna get your clothes off." And I'm like,
This is him in character?
like him fully serious. I'm like, he's working me, dude. He's got to be working me. And my buddy AJ, who's in the match, AJ's like, I think he's being serious. So, end of the match, X-Pac bumps me off the apron, which is awesome.
Dude,
John Waltman, by the way.
This is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Waltman is like 6'3", 6'4". You would
is he
really?
really?
You would believe it seeing it on TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
I thought
like
he was like
6'3".
6 foot, tops.
Like, no, dude. And so he bops me off the apron. And then they hit their stuff, 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, okay. So I'm starting to I'm on the outside, I'm starting to crawl, and I'm going to go out, like, to the back. And all of a sudden I just see feet land in front of me. These white boots, and it's fucking Eugene. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Here comes the shit show. He throws me inside, does a leg drop. Does a Hogan leg drop shit.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, he did a shit, we're good.
At least he didn't do the Bronco, or is it?
I would have taken it. I used to take it from, I used to take the, it's called the Frankie Factor. Good old Miss Frankie J, she's a wrestler that we have. She would give me the X Factor, like, almost weekly on our house shows that we would do. So if I was going to take it from X-Pac, I'm like, I'm going to just
and
that's
yeah.
Well, let's explain it for the audience quick, though. But the move that you're talking about is when you are in the corner of the bottom turnbuckle, right? Mm-hmm. And then someone goes to the opposite side of the ring and catches momentum and runs at you. And they basically spread their legs, and then they hump your face.
It's a dude's crotch.
They hump your face.
Crotch and butt just walloping you.
Yeah. X-Pac called it the Bronco Buster.
If I was taking the X Factor, I had plenty of experience.
Did he call it the X Factor? I thought it was
the Bronco. Yeah, I had it confused because I thought you were talking about X Factor, but Frankie J, she did the X Factor. So if they're like, hey, you're gonna take one from Pac, I would be like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I'll
take anything.
Bronco Buster, hell yeah. Look, I'll take all of it, man. But Eugene bopped me with something, then he hit me with a leg drop. And I'm like, all right, go to roll out, and he stops me. Time to get naked. And I'm like, dude. He rips my dress shirt and gets my coat out, gets my dress shirt out. And the next part of the job is the pants. Serbian Commando is one of my favorite movies. Emphasis on the commando part.
Oh, Lord.
I was Serbian Commando, if you get what I'm saying, underneath.
Lord.
Because I didn't pack extra stuff. I'm like, shit. I got my regular clothes, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just wear this. Usually I wear different stuff underneath, feel a little more comfortable, feel a little loose.
Right.
I gotta run.
Some yoga pants and stuff.
Yeah. Some yoga, man. Lots of yoga pants. Man, I forgot it that day. So when he's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, I'm like, no way. My mother's in the crowd. I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, hey. I literally.
You told Eugene, hey bro.
I literally, seriously, I did. I fucking did. Literally, like 24 years of age. I'm like, Eugene, don't do it. My mom's for you. And
he's like, fuck
he literally, he's like, at the start rolling. I'm like, oh my God. They pull me out, and I'm just doing this bullshit.
Oh my God.
And my mom texts me. She goes, oh my God. I'm like, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know.
Mike, sorry, but you just got taken out of the
you
wheel.
gotta take. We judge you a little bit here now. But,
that's amazing, though.
And I got the shirt signed by him too.
That's awesome.
Dude, how cool of a sub is that? I mean, it would have been amazing to have Billy Gunn, two of the members of DX back in the day. Mm-hmm. But how cool of a sub is that to have Eugene?
It's cool. I got to talk shit about these guys.
Because they could have brought in anybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, the promoter, Troy Peterson. He has connections, man. He knows a lot of people in the business.
Obviously, right?
He could have brought in a Wes Briscoe, which would have been cool. You know, he could have brought in.
But he could have brought in a no-name too,
Well,
you know, which would have brought like the momentum down.
Well, he could have brought. When you say no-name, he could have brought any local guy.
I know, no name is disrespectful to you, but like a lot of like fans that go to the show, they know Billy Gunn and stuff, and they know Eugene, but like they could have brought in someone like, oh, I've never heard of him before.
Sure.
And with the build of the original match,
that's
you
the
know,
tough thing.
that's what I'm saying.
You got to match the excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
When you say Billy Gunn's out, okay, what are we gonna say next that's gonna make you happy?
That's what I'm
Or
saying.
least,
Eugene is an amazing fucking replacement for that.
And like, God, he saw me, man. He remembered me, because the year after we're in Waterloo, Iowa, for our Hall of Fame show, and he looks at me. Hi, Mike. I'm like, oh man.
He remembered.
Yeah, he remembered me for
That's awesome.
that whole night.
I don't care why he remembered you. I know why he did. But like, how cool is it that he remembered you? And do you remember who Eugene is?
I don't actually.
Okay, should we? I bet if we pulled up a picture, you would remember.
Probably.
It was cool. Victoria that year, she was in Waterloo, and she also was the same way. She was.
How cool is she?
She's a. Oh my God. What? I'm trying to think of the phrase people use. Salt of the earth. She is salt of the earth, dude. She is amazing.
I've heard a lot of good things.
She just drinking with the boys. She can have a good time.
That's awesome.
She just chills. She just kicks back.
Awesome.
She just she kicks back. She's just one of us. And she I remember she was hanging out with us Friday night, and then the next night I'm like, hey, you know, it's good to see you. I don't know if you remember me. I'm like, oh, Mike, I remember you. And I'm like,
oh my God.
thank you, Lisa.
How did that feel?
Like, she's awesome. Yeah, this is Eugene, right?
You remember this guy?
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm trying to be PC right now, but his role back in the day, like Vandy said, it could not be done nowadays, but he was special.
He played a mentally challenged wrestler.
Yeah.
And it was something that then was controversial.
Yeah.
Now would be super controversial.
Yeah. Now it would get you canceled.
He did this, and in 2004 it worked so well.
Yeah.
Because he was a tremendous wrestler. That's the thing.
He was.
He didn't have to do flashy moves or moonsault, nothing like that.
Well, the funniest thing about it is he stole like all his favorite wrestlers, you know, supposedly. He stole all their moves. Like he'd be punching them and he'd start doing the Hogan where he'd, and then he'd come back like you'd throw a fucking jab at him and he'd catch it. And it was amazing entertainment. Like his fights, I loved watching him fight. He was just there's him with The Rock.
There was internal talk about him taking the world title off of Benoit.
Really?
Even after Benoit won, like after Mania and all that, there's talks that after a few months, they got sour with Benoit, and there was talks that we might put Eugene over and build him and Triple H up to SummerSlam, and then have Triple H.
That's crazy talk.
I think part of it was they had doubts about Orton, so they're like, well, we need the belt back on Triple H by doing this.
How can you have doubts about Orton though? I remember even when he was super green. That's another wrestling term. Yeah, I can see that, but like I remember how new he was, and I fucking hated him. Like, I don't think I've ever hated a wrestler more than Randy Orton when he first came out, which means he's doing his job, right? Because he was in Evolution. He wasn't supposed to be the babyface. He was doing the best job he could at what his job was. So, I mean, how can you have doubt in that guy?
Right.
And look at him now.
Right, I don't think they doubted his ability. I think they doubted trusting him to not in the backstage area be too much to handle.
Yeah.
So, and he talked about it in a documentary where he's like, hey, I was young, I was
cocky,
stupid, and I was cocky, and I was ignorant, and they took the belt off him as soon as they could.
Well, look at the guy though too. Wouldn't you be fucking cocky if you looked like Randy Orton? Jesus Christ!
World title on your shoulder.
He's third generation, second generation.
Third generation. You're on top of the world. You're going out. You're probably having a good time in town. Right. Doing things, having a good time.
Plus, everybody in the world, even non-wrestling fans, know what an RKO is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's completely popularized now, and like every girl who might not even watch wrestling or anything wants to have sex with Randy Orton.
Probably.
Yeah. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you took the words, man. You said the words.
Okay, hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back,
we'll finally get an answer from Hilsey.
Yeah, we're gonna get an answer. We're gonna get an answer from Hilsey on the top 5 wrestlers that he would rank as the greatest of all time, and it's a personal opinion too. And then we'll
awful compared to yours.
We'll come back to me. Well, the popular opinion would just be completely agreeing with Mike because he honestly made that argument so convincing. But we'll be right back. Matty Daddy and the Midget, episode 16 with Mike Vandy. Stay tuned. All right, hi, and welcome back to Matty Daddy and the Midget podcast, episode 16. Special guest, Mike Vandy. Hope you enjoyed that quick message from our sponsors, Manscaped, where if you use the promo code MIDGET, you'll get 30% off on the lawnmower 3.0. Sorry, I'm having a stroke. I just bought it myself. Haven't received it yet, but I will give a review on the next podcast.
I tell you what, though, that thing, no cuts, ever, no nicks,
no cuts,
smooth.
And I mean, what more could you ask for than a silky smooth sack?
Exactly.
That's all you can ask for. So, when we last left off,
what we may not realize is that was exactly how every Manscaped.
Every podcast.
I've seen a few podcasts in my day.
My favorite is Blue Chew. Podcast. There's Conrad Thompson when he talks about Blue Chew. Hey there, pal. Let's talk about Blue Chew here real quick.
What I fucking hate is the little water toilet thing that shoots, I don't want, a stream of water in my asshole.
Conrad,
the Tushy?
Yeah, the Tushy.
I need a Tushy.
Everybody gets so excited for Blue Chew. Even Jim Ross smiles. That's how much he loves.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Does he have to do the Joker?
No, it just happens. It just happens naturally.
That's impressive.
Blue Chews. Use code I got my face back.
Not a fan of Jim Ross
over
over
hired
here.
by AEW anytime
So
soon.
you're a fan of Jerry Lawler, but not Jim Ross.
Correct.
So keep the record straight. But
Never
okay.
meet your childhood hero.
Hang on.
Yeah.
JR, I actually follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't think he realizes when he likes tweets that everybody else.
Oh no, he does. He just doesn't give a shit.
Because there's
doesn't
some
care.
There's some
He
shit
doesn't
that's
care.
come up on my timeline.
He doesn't care.
I'm like, Jim.
He'll put there was a GIF of Mickey James bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
Happy times
Mm-hmm.
for people. And he liked it. He shared it. He retweeted.
Yep.
And James even liked
It's
the tweet.
incredible.
I
guess I need to follow.
Like, what the
I need to follow Jim Ross on Twitter, huh?
Yeah.
You know who else I've noticed? Paul Heyman on Instagram. He's
he's an entrepreneur, man. Katie, is it Natik or something like that?
I don't know, but he likes a lot of the same shit that I like, and that's where we that's where we know. But last time we left off, we were right at where the midget. He has his most anticipated.
We finally get to hear it.
The 5
There's way
greatest.
Too much build up to this show.
No. And this is all opinion too. So I mean, it's all opinion. It's all opinion. I think Mike Vandy's his was the most correct. He thought. He did not just think of all of that when I asked him that question. He had thought of that before. Am I right?
100%. Yeah. That is at least the 12th time that he said that.
Me and you have not thought about this as in depth as Vandy has. No fucking pressure.
I'm basically going off of when I was super peaked as a kid watching wrestling, right?
Yeah.
That's my list.
And that's what we want it to be.
So,
this mic is
probably unpopular opinion, but he was by far my favorite. I had shirts, I had posters, I had action figures. Goldberg.
Okay.
Huge fan of Goldberg.
So that's number 1 for you. Okay.
Number 2, Taker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Stone Cold 3. And I gotta put Shawn 4, I think. But I'm not 100% sure on that. And 5, also probably going to be disagreed upon, but I was also a huge fan of DDP.
Sure.
Huge fan.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You should have beaten Goldberg. Should have been the guy to beat the
I 100% agree.
No, that was a good list, and I liked it because it was just your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. And you did say that you grew up kind of watching more WCW at the time and stuff, so that makes sense why you'd put a shitty person like Goldberg.
I love
just kidding. That's a knee slapper for you folks at home. No, I like your list though. I really do. So in the time that you guys have given yours, I have given it zero thought in my head.
Sure.
Because it's just in the conversation and stuff. So this is just straight off the whim. But like number one's pretty obvious for me, and this is all opinion. But Stone Cold, the biggest draw in the business ever. Look at how long he was actually in the wrestling business, is 14 years. Imagine if Owen Hart wouldn't have given him that pile driver, or what's the...
Well, it was, the pile driver. I mean, it was a sit-out tombstone.
Okay.
That broke his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And he thought he thought he was Christopher Reeves. That was his biggest concern. Austin's biggest concern was, oh my God, I'm Chris Reeves.
Yeah.
Like, I can't move. I can't.
And that was before, like, he was Austin 316, but that was still before, like, the height of what he was gonna be.
Right.
So the fact that fucking happened.
That was the start of the journey, man.
Yeah, the fact that fucking happened and then he still rose the way he did, and that actually may have helped him also, because he was out and he really honed in on his promo cutting and everything.
It's moments like that. Like, you can compare 2 years ago, Becky Lynch, when Nia Jax breaks her fucking...
Oh, yeah. I saw that live, yeah.
Mess.
When that was like the Raw versus SmackDown before Survivor Series.
Tall, smiling.
Right, yeah.
You know,
and then she became the man after that.
Like, people...
She was the man before that, but...
They said that legitimized her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, we believe in you. Austin got his neck broke, and he walks out.
That's
people like, holy shit, he's Superman. Like,
yeah.
You know?
I mean, and that was the shittiest roll-up to ever win an Intercontinental title
ever. Work on the fly.
But, dude!
Gotta work on the fly. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he even did that and wasn't like, oh, I'm fucked. I'm done.
Like, they could have easily, because they had a stip to that match, so Austin had to win. I forget what the stip was. But they had a stip to it, and Austin they could not go the other direction.
Right.
Or they were screwed. So they're like, well, plan B, this. You know, God, man. There's a lot of plan Bs after, like, 97, honestly. Foley and Taker the next year in Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Plan B, we have to do this. Terry Funk takes chokeslam. Like, man, that was like a train wreck.
Is that the one when went through the top?
Yeah.
Goes through the top.
He
goes off
gets thrown off.
Put
which
through.
is the craziest thing ever. But, okay, so, can you read that? What, you see the Attitude Era DVD, the red one? Go down to the Stone Cold one?
Yep.
What's that called? What's that say?
Oh, man, I can barely see it, brother. What's it there?
Does it say the legend?
What's
Hold on. Oh, it just says the legacy.
Oh, legacy.
It says the legacy of Stone Cold Steve. I thought it was like a deeper name than that. Anyways, but like I bought that DVD like 5 years ago, and
I haven't watched it. Still fresh.
No. I've watched it a lot of times, dude. But this is why I'm still on number one, Stone Cold. I have to rant about this.
An hour later.
Because before, like, even before he got to WWF and they gave him the Ring Master fucking, persona and shit. Dude, he had some matches, and that DVD has, like, a bunch of matches, like WCW, ECW and shit.
Right.
But, like, in WCW, dude, when he was with Brian Pillman, the Flying Hawaiians, I'm just kidding, it's the Hollywood Blunts. But,
punch you. I heard Flying Hawaiians, I'm like, this guy.
You almost laughed.
I just did it to fuck with Vandy.
It was going to be Andy D and the midget.
Yep.
There was going to be no Maddie anymore.
It was good having a guest this week.
Yeah, you can leave your house too.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
But no, he had some amazing matches in WCW. I think that's what like a lot of people do not recognize him for. Like after that neck injury, his move set was kind of watered down and shit. He had some amazing matches in WCW. I think he was a great. This is what he calls himself all the time, but a great in-ring mechanic. And I thought he had a lot more mobility. He was a good athlete back in the day before that happened. Number one, biggest draw, basically rewrote history because I think without him, It would have been WCW who won
He's
that.
basically God.
He fucking is. That's what I'm trying to say.
I wake up and I pee to his theme song. I wake up. Piss. Shit. Eat. Go to work.
You definitely thought of that before too. That was not improv. I love it.
If you want, let's stay in the hallway and toss you beers.
Toss him beers, toss me beers. What the fuck?
We were at a buddy of ours' house, Robin Lapsaw's, about 2 years ago. We did the Steve Austin 316, where on 316 I said, hey,
Dope.
I've done this for 3 years, man. Like, you want to do it? He's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember this now. I'm like, sounds like I was there.
Well, I think I got an extra T-shirt in my car, so let's fucking do this. So we slammed some beers. You're like, fuck you, pussy. I ain't joking. Well, alright, sounds good. You be the guy that smells like beer all night.
Dude, he's basically the reason I'm an alcoholic right now, and I don't really like saying that because I'm not trying to shit on him, but like, oh my, he was just my hero, and like just even
Have you
like
had his beer yet?
No, I want to buy like a 6-pack of his. I do not like IPAs though, but I'll still buy them.
Just because Steve Austin?
Yeah, and maybe they're better than other IPAs I've had, but okay, I'll quit. Fucking having a man boner over Steve Austin.
Yeah, your pod cactus is out again.
What?
Who was one?
Scotty Too Hottie.
Okay.
What?
No.
What? Who's number one? What?
No, number 2.
What?
Scotty Too Hottie. Yeah, 100%. The Worm was revolutionary. Okay. No. I'd probably have to put the Undertaker number 2. With everything he's done, how long he's been in the business. Coolest fucking gimmick character of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing. I don't know what else to say about him.
Sure.
This mic is really pissing me off.
It's been.
This is why I used to have it. I used to have it taped down like this.
I want to throw it across the room.
I don't know how.
20 minutes. I just watch you lift it up.
All right, you know what? Okay, here we go.
Here
we go. Get this fucking.
Holy shit.
All right, is that just gonna hang there? All right. Okay.
What are you?
Cyborg. Yeah, number 2, Undertaker. You know, that's another reason WWF won those. Everyone wanted to tune in and see what Stone Cold was doing, what The Rock was doing, what The Undertaker was doing in the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars. Number 3, I gotta go Shawn. Number 3. Just his in-ring ability and how many generations he influenced. Like, I look at a guy like Seth Rollins now, like Dolph Ziggler and guys like that.
Colby, our friend Colby.
Yeah, our friend Colby. Yeah, he's supposed to call into the podcast any moment now, so we're still waiting on that. Colby hit us up. 4.
Before you move on, how dope would it be with my long hair and body type? Granted, I'm short, but if I had somebody that was much taller and more built with the same long hair, we could totally pull off DX, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Right?
Well, I don't think the fans can see your long hair right now because you're hiding it. Will you whip
I
out the
will say
long
he's
hair?
Hillsy does have a Rollins face. I will say that. He kind of does.
He
have
does,
a Rollins
and he has Rollins hair actually too.
The blonde, the half blonde, and the.
Well, no. That was the worst decision. That was the Shield shit. I hated that. Like, what? Just all black, dude. All black. All right, 4. 4. I'm gonna have to go with Flair. You have to have him in there. I mean, talk about Undertaker doing it for 30 years. Let's talk about the Nature Boy Ric Flair. How the fuck long has he been doing it? You know. He's probably got a good 10 years on Taker, if not more.
Yeah, this would be a perfect time to woo, just in case anybody wanted to do that. My voice doesn't get high enough.
Woo.
Woo!
Woo.
Thank you.
Woo. Woo.
Woo!
That's pretty good.
Woo. I think my mic's running.
Freestyling! Jet flying! Styling and
He's freestyling?
Yeah, whatever.
Jesus, he hung out with that one rapper once and he saw freestyle.
I said I was freestyling.
He's freestyling, baby. Woo!
Woo!
That's pretty good, actually.
And then number 5, I have to go with Bret Hart, dude. I'm a giant Bret Hart fan.
See, like, if you just go...
And I'd put him over Hogan. I'd put him over Sting.
If you and that's a tough thing. Like, my list, I try and be as legitimate as possible.
I wanted to
although
put Sting in mine.
Same, that's what I thought. Like, Sting...
Right.
Like, if
he's a 6 or 7 for sure. He's
like
got to be.
He's definitely 6, if not 5.
If it's 6-year-old Vandy talking,
Oh,
if you just go off the merch I had when I was a kid, it'd be Taker, Austin, Shawn, Sting, NWO.
Did you have the Sting, fucking, you basically, like, it was made so that you could wrestle with it?
Yeah.
I beat the shit out of my
Oh,
Sting.
yeah, those are like the little, like, things like this big.
Yeah.
I shit you not, my parents would yell because it was literally just me in my
made-
room, just dropping elbows.
I had a Hogan and an Ultimate Warrior, or my brother did, and
They
then
made
I
these big-ass
hand-me-downs.
wrestlers where they knew who they were wrestling. And I think it was like Hogan, DDP, Sting, Goldberg. And I think they made a couple more like Nash and Hall, whatever. But like you could connect them to the other wrestlers, so it'd be like, I'm gonna beat you, DDP. Like throw random shit. So like Like,
Did those actually talk?
Yeah.
Because by the time I got the hand-me-downs from my brother, they did not talk anymore, so I never knew.
Yeah, mine when I beat the shit out of it, it would go, ugh, and it was awesome.
Wow.
WCW
There was-
ring with the
You know what?
Yep.
There was probably some perverts hearing that for a different reason. Wanting to hear it for a different reason.
Fine, Steve. But, RF videos.
Hey, let's do some honorable mentions though, quick. I'll throw in now Chris Jericho.
Yep.
You got to give it up to Chris
Y2J.
Jericho, dude.
Break the walls.
And Eddie Guerrero as well.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, Hilsebeck.
Well,
Sting is obviously
Sting
one of
is
you.